Sebastian for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by
Mr. Matt Starr. What's happening?
It's great to be chatting to you today. I love your album, High Voltage Salvation by Electric Temple. The vibe and grooves from this release sound like a young band, not a seasoned musicians. Where did you get the energy from?
I don't know. It just keeps coming. Yeah, rock and roll is still fun. I mean, the thing is, I get to do every day for a living the same thing I was doing when I was 14 years old. Like go to school, come home, run upstairs, play my drums. And I get to do that now with my own music and with other musicians and tour the world and all that stuff. So I think that's where the energy comes from. I really love it.
That's amazing. And I love the band quote where you sort of said it already. Rock is a religion. That's a very true statement, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I've seen, you see these videos on Instagram where they have people from like a Baptist church just freaking out, like feeling the Holy Spirit. And then they'll put like Slayer music over the top of it. And it totally syncs up. It's like, yeah, it's the same experience, for those people. It's like, it is this profound connection and a release and just like a celebration of everything that they believe in.
Absolutely. I think probably the same age as me, and it's like what keeps you going, isn't it? I mean, obviously for you as a musician it's your job as well, but the passion is what keeps me going. Yeah, through life's shit days. Absolutely. And your album, seriously, I love every song on it, especially
Awesome.
And Damned. Who wrote Damned specifically? Did you all have a hand in it?
No, I believe all of these songs were written by Tony Childs, guitar player. And then he maybe had an idea for the vocals or a concept, or maybe they were more fleshed out than that, but then Andrew would do his thing on it. But they all started with Tony.
So it is a super group with killer songs, and obviously you got other commitments, but are there plans to take Electric Temple out on the road?
Yeah, I was just talking with Tony last week, and we're looking at trying to do something in the new year in 2025. So we'll see how that shakes out with everyone's schedules and everything. But I think it'd be great. I've played with everyone. I'm just thinking, yeah, except for Tony. Tony's the only one I haven't played with on stage, but I've known the other guys for a while. So we've all played together. So it'd be great.
Amazing. It's the full package. Everything's there, even down to the artwork. But through your musical career, I mean, with MR.BIG, Ace Frehley, etc., have you kept all your albums, or are you one of these people that doesn't keep the mementos?
I'm not that sentimental. Every maybe 5-10 years, I'll go through and maybe weed out some of my laminates or backstage passes. I hope I don't regret that when I get older. But I think I have all the Ace records. I don't know. I did a record called Defying Gravity with MR.BIG. I don't know if I have that on vinyl.
That's a strange album cover.
I know they did a vinyl, right? Yeah. Well, you should have seen the inflatable elephants we had in Japan on stage. It was stranger.
So then, if you do get out on the road, are there hopes to get into Europe, even the UK maybe?
I mean, again, I think we'd all be up for it if it made sense, logistically. But yeah, because I think this music, especially over in Europe and UK, would be well received.
Well, it's timeless, isn't it? And it's
yeah,
but it's
yeah, and
yeah,
and toured with MR.BIG. We did all the festivals in Europe a few years in a row when I was with them, and yeah, it's just a whole different world. You don't have anything like Wacken here. So, I mean, one would be Kiss Alive, right? Like, that's my desert album. That was one of the first albums I ever got. It's, I like the double album. You get, if I can only pick 6, I get 2 records for one choice, which is cool. But I think it's just for me, just a great document of what a live show should be, the energy. It's still exciting, so that's a really special album to me. The Pistols record, Nevermind the Bullocks. I mean, that's, for a band that only made one record and to have the impact that they had, I mean, it's pretty pretty profound. And all of those songs are great. All of them, every single one. The lyrics are unbelievable. You know, I love Paul Cook's drumming and Steve's guitar playing, and you know, it's just an incredible, powerful record. It's so good.
You stop you there. Through your travels then as a musician, have you ever met John Lydon?
I haven't.
Oh, what a shame.
No. I've met Glenn, Buddy Gilby plays with Glenn.
Right.
Met Steve once, but didn't really hang out, you know, per se. And haven't met Cook, which I'd love to.
Right. Okay. Carry on.
Yeah, great drummer, working class drummer. I love that style. So another one, White Album again. 2 records for the price of one. You know, any Beatles record's great, but like when you get into like After Rubber Soul and they really start getting into the concept of an album, the White Album's got so much, you know, beautiful stuff like Dear Prudence or Julia, and then, you know, Helter Skelter. It's got the whole thing, like the whole range of all the things that they do. And you can hear the tension within the band too. I could do without Revolution number 9, or maybe just make it like 30 seconds and be like, okay, we got it. But even that, you know, is a sign of where they were at, and you know, Yoko's influence on John, and that's coming there. So it's like a really wide range of stuff. So that's a great record, and it's kind of just a mystery, you know, in a cool way. I would say Magic. No. Shot at the Devil, Motley Crue. So that for me was the drums, the sound of the drums, and it was mixed by Jeff Workman, who had worked with Roy Thomas Baker and the Queen, the Cars stuff, and those really big drum sounds, you know, which obviously were influenced by Roy, who was producing those records, but that's Jeff. So you listen to that record and those drum sounds, it's like, yeah, that's Jeff on the mixing and the engineering side. And it just blew my mind. And, you know, I think just the clarity of the purpose of the title of the artwork, the photos inside, those Barry Levine photos are gorgeous. They look like the colors look like candy, you know, and they're like, those guys are like, they're beautiful and a little scary and kind of weird and kind of glam. And it's like, it's everything. And they just nailed it. You know, they totally nailed it. And the songs are great. So I love that record, and I love Tommy Lee's drumming, and I played that album so many times. There's a lot of stuff I took from the drumming on that record. So Aerosmith live bootleg, which is again 77, I think, 77, 78. That record, you know, there's screeching guitars and there's firecrackers going off like all throughout the album. I can't believe the label let them put it out. It's so out of control, and it's like the greatness of Aerosmith, you know. It's just like on the edge of just exploding, and it's so good. And then those pictures, Ron Powell, photographer, like all those great shots inside. Joe Perry, these pictures, Joe with like a flannel shirt and then leather pants and cowboy boots, like. Fashion-wise, as a kid, I'm like, where is this guy coming from? And his hair's in his face, and he's got a guitar on his back, and then another one in front that he's playing. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, like I would just stare at those photos for so long, and clearly the inside of Appetite for Destruction, that inner sleeve with that photo collage, I know that they took it from the inside of live bootleg because it's the same exact thing. So anyway, yeah, that's a great record. And then Cheap Trick Live at Budokan, which is another one, you know, like 79, single album, great songs, great band, just unsurpassed, you know, so good. And I think Jack Douglas probably produced like 3 of the 6 albums I mentioned, which I don't know what that means, but you know.
Absolutely. Well, you could take those albums and be in a locked room for a month and be happy, can you? Yeah.
Oh yeah. For a lifetime.
For a lifetime, totally. All right, then. So I'm going to ask you now, who are your 6 favourite musicians, dead or alive? And if you want, just the drummers.
Mick Tucker, I would say, from The Sweet. Incredible drummer. Kind of had an Ian Pace influence, but had his own thing. Really very English in his playing. Love his drumming. Cozy Powell, another one. You know, Rainbow. Play with Sabbath for a minute. Whitesnake. Just beautiful, beautiful drummer. Great feel. Super musical. Just sounded great and looked amazing. I mean, I don't think anyone looked better on the drums than Cozy. Keith Moon, who I was just listening to an extended live at Leeds this morning. Beautiful drumming. So again, musical. As a kid, I thought he was just going crazy, and then I actually tried to play some of the songs and realized, no, it's like very, again, whether or not he's aware of what he's doing, it's so musical, it's so beautiful. So yeah, amazing drummer. Bonham, of course.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of the template. It's like that, and that's the reference I hear, you know, from Ace when we do records. Yeah. I go, what do you think on this one? He goes, I just do Bonham. And I go, all right, cool. So yeah, just greatest rock drummer ever. Tommy Lee was another one, again, kind of the 80s Bonham, where it, you know, just you could hear other drummers playing differently after he showed up. Like you could hear drummers doing what he was doing, you know. And then for that reason, I would say Dave Grohl is the next one, like 90s version, and the flams and the single stroke rolls and really like super worked out parts, but really straight ahead and powerful. And then you just started hearing guys play like that, you know, because there's a lot of drummers that are great, but then they don't influence, you know, like Neil Peart's an incredible drummer, but you can't really play like that unless you're in Rush. Absolutely. You know, but with Bonham, Tommy Lee, and Dave Grohl, that's all stuff that you can do in songs, you know, and people started doing that. So again, I love all their drumming, and again, the influence is profound.
That's amazing. Okay, so do you prefer then vinyl or digital?
Vinyl.
Okay.
I mean, if I got to learn a set of music, digital, please. I don't want to be sitting there in front of a turntable. I'd rather just put it in my phone and listen to it. But yeah, vinyl all day.
Brilliant. If you were in a coma, what song would wake you up?
Probably some Motorhead, and any Motorhead would be good.
Okay. If there was a written song, like a made-up song about yourself, your personality, what would it be called?
God beats me. Well, I guess that's the title. There you go.
Beats me. Yeah, that's cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool. Do you prefer beer or wine?
Depends where I am.
Okay. I guess
if I'm in Italy, I'll take wine. If I'm in England, I think it's a law you have to drink beer. So
absolutely. What about, you prefer festivals or small intimate gigs?
I'll take anything that's packed. Right. So if you play a big venue, that's awesome. But if it's not packed, it doesn't feel good. So I would take a small, sweaty gig. Played with Michael DeBar's for a couple years, and we would do these dive bars, and they would just be packed, and it would just be like he'd be like out in the crowd and have his shirt off. It was just like so sweaty and intense. So I'll take the biggest venue I can take as long as it's packed.
And what's your favorite food after a gig? Actually, after a gig.
Well, it's kind of like I typically don't eat after a gig, but probably pizza. You know, but what I like if I'm on the road is like just a deli tray with some prosciutto and you know, some provolone. I'll take roast beef and American cheese too. That's good, but just like some meat and some cheese, you know. Yeah.
So you have had such an amazing career. And if you could clutch one of the proudest moments so far, which one would it be?
Well, I mean, most recently I played Carnegie Hall last month in New York, and that was a pretty special thing. My parents were there, which I was grateful for that. And I just never thought I would play there, not because it was like such a big deal, but I just didn't think they allowed rock and roll drummers to play at Carnegie Hall. So I played there with a violinist, Alexander Markov, and really grateful to him for giving me that opportunity. So that would be the most recent one for sure.
Brilliant. Okay, so you mentioned Tommy Lee, so I'm going to have to ask this because it was just going to be cheeky. What's one of the most outrageous things you've done in the name of rock and metal then? Because Tommy Lee was pretty famous for being a bad boy.
Yeah, nothing compared to him. You know, I'm not that outrageous of a guy. You know, and also too, you know, admittedly, like my career happened a little later in my life, so I kind of gotten that stupidity out of my system. You know, so I'm sure there was something ridiculous I've done, but I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
All right. So going back to Electric Temple, how pleased as a band then are you with the reviews and everything from media and fans? I mean, has it been really good?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm really happy, and I'm happy for Tony too, because again, this was his vision, and he brought us all together, and I think he made the right choices as far as the people to be involved. And yeah, no, I think it's really good.
Real. So what's next for you this for we're near the end of the year now? So what's next for you next year? What's happening?
So I got I'm home for December. I got a few records I'm going to be doing. In January, I'm going to be playing drums on the third Black Swan record, which is Jeff Pilson, Reb Beach, Rob McCauley, and myself. So I'm excited about that.
Killer. I love the first album.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, great band. So that's going to be cool. I'm going to be in LA. I'm doing some playing with Phil X. I might be doing some stuff with Dave Ellefson. I'm not sure. We're going to see about that. And then after that, who knows?
Okay.
I know there will be some more stuff with Alexander Markov, whether that will be again at Carnegie Hall or we'll be doing it somewhere else. That remains to be seen. But yeah, and then there's a couple other things like in the works, which you know may or may not come to fruition. So we'll see about that. But there's some cool stuff.
Thanks for today's interview. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
Well, hey, you guys, keep music alive, and you know, thanks for supporting this show and all the artists, all the musicians, all the bands like coming out, and I hope that you know we can inspire you and at the very least just like give you a good time, take your mind off whatever's going on in your life.